96.7
every Tuesday between 12 noon and 2 p.m. Jamaican time.
You can also tune in via www.facebook.com/FeedFM 96.7.
You can't afford to miss it. Keep on being inspired on Fit FM.
Jesus, you love me too much, oh. Too much, oh. Too much, oh. Excess love, oh.
So here I am, the controversial Ed Wallace. I'm on Community Buzz every Monday afternoon from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Fit FM 96.7. Call me. Our number is 876-482-4944. Let us discuss topics affecting your community: education, health, community development, infrastructure, and anything else. Remember, Community Buzz, Mondays 3 to 6 on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Under the pressures of your life and it tough. Now stay down, mama, time to get up.
This is Fit FM 96.7. Duncan Strelorny.
Welcome to this afternoon's edition, Monday afternoon of Community Buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. Yeah, you know, I look forward to being with you every Monday so badly. Yeah, I just love this program. I hope we're being of good service to the community too, and that more and more of you will just come to us and stay on. So we want to welcome all the people on radio. Definitely, radio is becoming a kind of old people kind of thing now, not true? Radio. No radio station. Everybody will listen to internet.
Okay.
Everybody,
Okay.
the actual radio,
The actual
physical
radio, the physical
yes,
radio.
yes, yes,
Everybody
yes.
have thing on the ears and all that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So welcome those of you who are on Fit FM 96.7. Those people. Say again. Julia is Ed Wallace. Yeah. So Facebook, you can pick us up on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the platforms, right? And our numbers 876-482-4944. You run that for text. Anything you want to text us, you run that number. But we have a new call-in number, which is 876-317-1991. Easy number 317-1991. This is Ed Wallace, your host, and Julia is not Ed Wallace. So I'm right. Julia is what? You know what? Me, I'm a boss, but I say nothing. I will not contest that. Yes, so welcome. Greetings to all our listeners out there, all of you there on the various platforms, and yeah, just welcome. Happy to have you. We're giving another special welcome to Dr. Thorpe, who will be here with us today to talk about COVID again, because the thing with the COVID, oh gosh, man, oh gosh, we have to find a way to stem this flow and to, relieve ourselves in a little bit more dramatic way, somewhere where we can see it, that we're relieving ourselves of the COVID spread. US, though, is having now 500,000 deaths by COVID. Can you imagine? 500,000. And the funny thing about the US situation, is that this country is the top first world country by every imagining. And with all of that, they are far ahead on COVID life loss. I can't just imagine the number of families in mourning right now in the United States. So we can only pray for them. And because we're so close, we hope that the spread is abated and we start to recover. But we're going to talk much COVID later on. All I have to say now is that Dr. Thorpe, greetings to you. And yeah, or resident GP, general practitioner, pediatrician, all kind of things. All right, doctor, welcome. Greetings to you. My brother in U Porter, I promise I'm gonna big up U Porter today. My brother in U Porter. I think I want you to call me, Hugh. I'd love for you to call me today. All right, and talk about some things. I see you're making some big statements on Facebook, and it's coming through loud and clear. I'd love to talk to you today about some of those declarations. And just to pick your mind, I know you're a good mind, a very solid mind, and I'd love to hear some of your thoughts. So call me up now. Call me up. Birthdays. My friend, brother, and one whole heap of connection, community person, schoolmate from Barrack School, Falmouth School, schoolmate, Homo Technical High School, Michael Pritchard, Falmouth boy. Happy birthday to you, sir. God's richest blessings to you, and I hope that this year that you're embarking on now will be a much better year than was last year. And this greeting is also coming from the Fit FM family. Always love, big up, we're friend them too. So Pritchard, happy birthday to you, sir. And we wish you all the best in the upcoming year and for many more years after this, really. I have a little cousin named Jaden. Come on me here this morning, wake me up out of my bed. Uncle Eddie, my birthday. So Jaden, happy birthday, my little cousin. Happy birthday. I hope that you will stick with your books. Don't waste no time. Handle your business with respect to your education. And so that all of us can be proud of you. We will be proud of you more than likely anyway. But put in some extra, Jaden, and trust me, we will love you more for it. All right. So happy birthday to you, and we hope for all the best in your future, sir. You have everything ahead of you. Producer, when I was on my way to the show, I remembered a statement after a conversation I had with a friend on Facebook. Just now, Ivan Rollins, big up, Ivan. That chat will continue. But back to Jaden and my memory. Enough Sunday school, I'm going now. William Nib. I'm going to say William Nib all age school. William Nib Baptist Church Sunday School. Holy. And I remember this. What is all that about now? Yeah. Okay. So let me see now. I think
Lots of Sunday school.
no, I think I know why you're behaving like that, but let me behave myself. Yeah, so Holy for Sunday School. And one of the verses I can remember is, Jaden, you're young now, but as you grow, remember your creator in the days of your youth. I've seen so many examples, people, of those of us who brag and show off and do the most things in the days of our youth. Just go on and come to a bitter end in old age.
Yes.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
When we don't have no God in our way when we're young,
Mm-hmm.
we are, what should I say, vulnerable to a whole lot of things in our old age.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we have enough money to protect us, but other times we really do suffer from not remembering the principle. And it's another thing. Yeah. This some people don't believe in the Bible because the Bible is either copied from somewhere else or this from somewhere else. But Solomon did in fact tell us that there's nothing new under the sun. But there's something particular about the Bible. I don't know any piece of philosophy. I mean, there are just some pieces of philosophy in the Bible that I don't find it anywhere else. And one of them is this one. Remember thy creator in the days of your youth. Never, Pastor Toussaint of Edgewater Baptist Church always tell me to read in context and, don't just read one verse and quote one verse. But I suspect that this particular verse can stand alone. Remember thy creator in the days of your youth. Remember your creator in the days of your youth. So Jaden, that is for you. I will put things myself here now, Jaden. When you hear this program, you can say, Uncle Eddie, big you up, rate. Everybody else having birthday, young people, remember your creator. Older folks, guide the younger folks. They need it. All right. So that is it for birthday. All the persons who had birthdays in the past week and I don't know about it, want to just wish you God's richest blessings here from Fit FM, and that all will run well for you in the upcoming year. And then as you process life, that things will just get better and better and better. Anniversaries. I don't have any anniversary right now. But those of you who have wedding anniversaries, work anniversaries, any kind of anniversary, just want to say to you, happy anniversary to you. And once it was good, we would love for you to do it again, or do it more the next time around. So happy anniversaries to anniversary to those celebrating anniversaries today. Last, this is people who left us. Another thing, producer, I've been considering this whole business of death, especially since my cousin Tony passed, because I didn't go to Tony's funeral. I couldn't take it. And I'm not so sure that I have a problem with fainting. But given what has happened to me recently, yes, I was afraid I would not be able to get up. And it's a serious thing. Mm-hmm. But so I really didn't attend Tony Moncrief's funeral. They sent me tokens from the funeral. They sent me a T-shirt with his face on it, and they sent me a program When my sister brought it to me, I tell her to keep it. I still can't deal with it up to now. I prefer to just look at Tony gone somewhere far and then I go and see him for a long time, you know. But so the death thing, the last thing, believe you me, when it hits close, it's terrible. When it hits close to me, it's terrible for me. So I can imagine how terrible it could be for any other individual, any other family, any other. So Miss Gath there in Monterey, the thing is that Miss Gath didn't die. She expired. She lived a full life. I suspect Miss Gath is in her 90s. Right? So that's a matter of expiration. You know, you don't mourn that one, you celebrate that one because she batted a good score. And there's no complaint about her life. Nobody going to complain about Miss Gatt was this and Miss Gatt was that, except to say good things about her. Never in the community, never had her name about the place for any bad reason. And she was a kind woman, kind and giving woman. She was a business woman. I mean, she did all sorts of things. So we still have Miss Gatt in Martha Bay, outstanding, and we're still mourning that loss. Daddy Uri, salute, 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 salute. Wake a town and tell the people. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, again, we're not going. I think this is a life we can celebrate too. At 78 years old, having passed at 78 years old, it's still young for this time of age, but the amount of things that he has accomplished, the foundation he laid down to artists in Jamaica in terms of reggae music, clean reggae music, no, nothing to complain about, nothing to complain about, clean dancehall, clean. They used to call it back in the day, toast the mic. Yeah, that's how DJ started, you know, toasting the mic. So condolences to his family, and rest easy on the fact that Daddy Roy did a whole lot of good in terms of the development of Jamaican culture, and in particular reggae music. Fit FM has a station who plays people music. Salute you, Roy. And we'll always remember his input into the culture and the musical life of Jamaica. I don't know if later on we might find a tune with him. I don't know. We're going to search. The other thing I tell you that the passing of Mrs. Garwood, for community buzz, we won't let it go. We won't allow it to be a 9-day wonder. We're not letting it go. And so we have to be reminded that life is fragile and anything can happen anytime. But also, we need to do something about how we resolve conflicts, how we do our thing in that way. Because, I mean, this is horrible. I don't know. I am not a preacher. I'm not a counselor, anything like that. But I'm going to say this. Again, this is something I thought about today. Well, I said it. Some people don't die, they expire. I want to put something to you that in the case of a whole lot of people, God seemed to my mind, I think God may have preordained heaven for some people. Yeah. And he takes you from this earth when the job that you were placed here for has been done. No, I'm not making a saint out of Mrs. Garwood because I don't know the lady. I'm just saying that God has some people that is reserved for heaven, in my belief. And that just like how Judas had to do what he had to do, there are some people who are designated for heaven. And when God pulls you out, to the human eye, it may be a bad pullout. Yeah, shot to death in a church. But let's look at it now. Let's look at how Mrs. Garwood went. Mrs. Garwood went with her hands in the air. Remember, she was shot and killed. She went with her hands in the air. But her hands was not in surrender to the gunman. Her hands was raised, her hands were raised in praise to God at the time, as I understand it. I doubt if she even saw the gunmen based on what the reports that I have been hearing. Her back was turned to them. So she was high in praise, and that is how she went out. Now, immediately after those people did what they did, those Judases did what they did, they were almost immediately caught. Almost immediately caught. All sort of mix up to cause them to get caught. People of faith, there may be a lesson here for us. There may be a lesson here for us. That even with the fear that we have as human beings, because Christ, don't forget, Christ went into Gethsemane and pray and sweat until it almost come like blood. So most of us will be fearful for our lives. But when God have a plan, Him just have a plan. The youngsters now who did this act, I can't even understand. I'm still on lasses here. Lasses are still upon. When I look at one of the youngsters coming from the courthouse, friends, and the t-shirt he was wearing, you are looking at a legend. You are looking, no remorse. Yes, no remorse. You are looking. And I think it was deliberate. They didn't just take that t-shirt to him and give it to him to wear. I think he chose that t-shirt. He chose that t-shirt. And we have to look in ourselves now and say, yeah, Mrs. Garwood gone. But perhaps God had a plan which she had fulfilled, and she went home in praise. Not surrender, in praise to God. And so, people of faith, we must just hold the faith, believing that God is in the middle of this all the time. I'm going to take a slight break right now, if I may, and then we come right back, all right? So we're coming back with the minutes of the meeting and all of them kind of just say, we'll talk. Be right back. Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. Community Buzz, Ed Wallace. Yeah, man, I read this.
Set this up, we mean this. Yeah, so you come get your tablet. And all when you left and you happy come back on me. Know you want to buy one of them your laptop. Best of business, a serious business. We sell all electrical appliances. And all of your car accessories. Come a get stop, you know, no problem.
Best Apps Technology, Shop 25, Champion Plaza, Fama, Trelawney. Telephone 876-394-5484. Best Apps, we only deliver the best.
Smarts Auto Company Limited is Trelawney's leading auto parts store for all your Honda, Toyota, Mitsubishi, Nissan, and Subaru parts. You want it, we have it. Come check us out for all your windscreen insulation, tires, and all those hard-to-get parts. 2021 is your year to get your dream car. Smarts Auto introduces its car mart located at Lower Cornwall Street, Falmouth, Trelawney. Call us at 805-4966 or 376-5385. Smart people, smart choice, Smarts Auto.
Does your child need assistance with reading? Are you an adult who wants to become a better reader? Well, get ready to learn with Teachers Touch Tutoring. Our tutors are certified reading and writing specialists. Call us at 876-517-2332. That's 876-517-2332. Classes available weekdays and on weekends. Teachers Touch Tutoring. Learning today, leading tomorrow.
Oliver's Pharmacy, located at 26 Market Street, Falmouth, is your friendly community pharmacy. Fill your prescriptions, get personal advice, gifts, over-the-counter medicines, cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar tests. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Telephone 876-617-3779. Oliver's Pharmacy, a proud community partner of Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Willis Williams, licensed electrician services. For all residential and commercial electrical wiring, repairs, maintenance, and more, call Willis Williams, licensed electrician services at 876-823-8271 or 358-1636. Willis Williams, licensed electrician services, located in Duncan's Trelawney.
Yeah, we're right back here now with you, Fit FM. This Ed Wallace is still on. I'm not as sharp as I would want to be. I don't even know why. But I tell you, some of the, not even the stresses, but things just feel kind of ominous, just not set right. Something just in the ear wanna feel right, just not feel right. If you're having any kind of that feeling, call me and share it with me. If not, if it's bright and sunny, tell me too. So maybe you can prep up my spirit. I don't remember now. 876-317-1991. That's the call-in number. And then for text and so on, it's 876-482-4944. I have a guest coming in 2 minutes, but I just want to say, Pastor Rotti and Sergeant Wallace, our community, are putting a proposal on the table for an annual commemoration of this incident, just to continue to build awareness and to just build up the strength and faith. I don't know if it's a good idea or what, but you know, this situation must not be forgotten. This is a day in infamy that should not be forgotten. And I think we need to begin to look at some things that we could perhaps plan around the day. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. So right about now, we're going to be calling our first guest to have our full discussion on COVID-19 and other issues, because it's COVID thing I dread. This COVID thing I dread. Yes, so we'll be talking to her in just a couple of minutes. When we look at it now, we had, for Saturday, it was, I think, Saturday we had over 458 new cases, right? So we had that on Saturday. Yesterday, we had 297, and we had 3 deaths for yesterday, and on Saturday we had 5. We've heard rumors of COVID-19 going around in all kind of institutions in Trelawney here. All right. And so a whole lot of things going on. And I say rumors because while some might be confirmed, some are not true. So it's best to keep them in the category of rumors. Mm-hmm. All right. Good afternoon, Dr. Thorpe. Are you with me?
Good afternoon, Sir Ed. Yes, I'm here listening. I'm listening in on you.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So this afternoon we want to take a look at a few other things that are plaguing us health-wise right now. So we have the COVID-19, then we have the dengue. Do we have anything else out there? Because we have, well,
yeah, you know, there are other things out there, but the COVID-19 is such a big topic. If you don't mind, we'll kind of stick to that topic today.
Certainly.
Because I want to bring information from a different angle, than you normally hear about COVID-19.
Okay, certainly,
So
certainly.
so
But
when you're ready, I'm ready to go.
yeah, man, I'm ready. I'm ready, and the people of Fit FM are ready to go. So let's start. So COVID-19, you're coming from a new angle. I'm not gonna ask a question.
Yeah. So
And
listen,
please, Doc, don't test me today. Don't give me no test question. I didn't study.
I'm not promising you anything.
All right, go right ahead. Let's hear what you have new for us.
So listen. I'll be kind to you though.
Thank you.
Last week we spoke about the vaccines.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you noticed in the news what's happening in the US and the UK. Have you seen how the number of COVID cases are plummeting?
Yes, I've
Have you seen
noticed.
that?
I've noticed.
Dramatic. The scientists don't want to be, say a whole lot, but the only thing which has changed is the vaccine.
Mhm.
Giving the vaccine to in those countries.
Doc, our government has also, and administration has also been changed.
So listen, what the thought is now that the vaccine is not only protecting those who have gotten the vaccine, but it seems as if it's also preventing those people from spreading it to others. So we're watching what's going on. We still have to be very, very, very cautious. But I think it's going to be good news, in terms of the vaccine. And the AstraZeneca is now approved by WHO. And I was listening, this morning, and by the end of this month, the WHO will start releasing it to countries. This is why Jamaica hasn't gotten their supplies yet.
So what did we hear
upon
last
that
week then? What did we hear the minister said? I thought we had already gotten some.
Well, what happened? They were promised it the middle of February. And then I think what they're saying is it looked more like the end of February that they will get it.
I see.
Yeah, and it's not the Jamaican fault. It's that actually WHO. They're the ones who have purchased, and they say by the end of the month they will start releasing it to the countries. So that's good news. That's good news. But what I want to do today, I'm someone who really listens to what's going on in the community. And there are a couple of topics I'd like to really mention. One is there's this theory out there that, man, this COVID-19, I'd rather get the disease and get over it, build up my own immunity instead of getting the vaccine. No big deal. I'm not going to die from COVID-19. It's only old, sick people die.
Okay.
That is one thing I want to address. Let me just get it. I don't care if I get it. Then I build up my own immunity.
It's very prevalent actually. That thought.
Yeah. So we're going to spend some time on that. The second thing is this excuse that we know the protocol, but we're so sick and tired of following the protocol. We just can't be bothered.
COVID fatigue.
Yeah. So we're going to deal with those two topics today.
Working with the doc.
Yeah, let me start out with the first one. One of the things you're mentioning, every day we get these statistics from the Minister of Health.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure we're on the same page, understanding what these numbers are saying and what these numbers are not saying. So you talk about the number of positive cases in Jamaica. The last number I got was that we had about over 21,000 positive cases in Jamaica. What does that mean? That does not tell you how many people are walking around with COVID-19. As a rule of thumb, when we look at cases like polio, for every one positive case we test, there are around 10 times that number in the community.
Whoa.
So if you're talking about 21,000 positive cases, you can assume there may be around 200,000 people walking around with COVID-19 in the community.
Plus the exponential effect.
Yeah, and to make things even worse, when you look at 30% positivity, 30%, 1 in 3 people who test is positive. That is extremely, extremely high.
Say that again.
So,
1 in every 3 persons tested?
well, no, they talk about the positivity rate. That
Oh,
30%
okay.
of the people.
Okay, the positivity
So
rate.
that
All right,
that
cool.
mean 1 in 3 of those who were tested
Mm-hmm.
is positive.
Yes.
And that's extremely high. That don't necessarily mean 1 in 3 people in the community have it, but regardless,
Yes.
it's very, very high. What I would say to people out there, every time you go into a taxi with 5 people or into a bus, you can guarantee 1 or 2 people in there may have the virus and don't know. More than that, I've never been to Bend Down. What do you call that market on
Yes,
Wednesday? The Bend
Ben
Down.
on. Yes, yes.
I still have not been to that market. I hear it's fun. But anyway, in that crowd, can you imagine how many people maybe walking around with COVID don't know it? They may touch an object, something that they want to buy, and they put it down and say, I'm not going to buy that. And then you come up right behind them and touch that stuff. That virus is still on that object. And this is how community spread happen, you innocently maybe spreading it and don't know. So that number, there may be over 200,000 people who may have COVID-19. Let us look at the number of people who have died. It's approaching 400.
Yes, it is.
400 don't seem to scare a lot of people, but now we're putting a face to the numbers. I mean, several doctors have died. We have had politicians who have died.
Mm-hmm.
We have an entertainer like Toots.
Mm-hmm.
Toots in the Mater, he has died.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm hearing, my sister-in-law died. My brother.
Getting closer to your doorstep.
Yeah, man, it's getting real. It's getting real. So when people look at these numbers, you realize it's not telling you the whole picture, but you need to infer that this thing is really out there. So one number I want to look at, though, what I want to focus on, they talk about the number of people who are recovering from COVID-19.
Mm.
Have you seen that number? They say 13,000 people have recovered from COVID-19.
Yes.
What, Ed, this is your one question I'm going to ask.
Go ahead.
Here comes your question, man. Ed, what does it mean that 13,000 people have recovered?
What it means is that 13,000 persons are now not being treated for COVID-19. She laugh at me. She laugh at me.
No, you know why? You know why I laugh? Because listen, man, I wanted to know what it meant, and I looked it up. No one have a very good definition. Does it mean that they're no longer positive? They're no longer infectious? Does it mean they're back to normal life?
They get 2 consecutive negative tests.
Well, the truth of the matter, not everybody's being tested. Those who are positive, not everybody's being tested again. They assume that after 10 days, if you have no symptoms and no fever, then you have recovered, basically. That's the definition. But this is what I want. This is what I want people to listen to.
Is that universal? Is that definition universal?
And that's a problem. Everybody have their own definition. When I looked it up, I mean, no one has a definitive definition of who has recovered. But this is what I want you guys to listen to. This is what I want you guys to listen to. Many people who have COVID-19, they're not going to die. They're not dying.
Mm-hmm.
But we are seeing an increasing number of people, weeks, months after so-called recovering from COVID-19, who still have very worrisome symptoms. And in fact, they're calling those people it's being called prolonged COVID syndrome. A lot of doctors are now paying attention to these people. And it's not only people who have been sick enough to go into the hospital. We're talking about young people, children, healthy athletes, 2, 3, 4, 6 months after they recovered from their acute illness, are still not back to normal.
But are they contagious, though, Doc? Are they contagious?
No, most times the test is negative. They're not contagious anymore. But what happened is, and I'll talk about in a second, the damage that this virus did to their body is long term, and no one is really paying attention to it until now. It's like, oh my God, they're thinking up to 30% of people who contract COVID-19 are being left with this long-term problem. So let me kind of tell you what these problems are. Some of them are very, very scary. You have had people who have had stroke. You have had 30-year-old healthy people who after they've gotten over the illness have come down with a stroke. You have people who get tired very easily, fatigue. They walk around, and boy, they can hardly catch. They have to go and lie down. And I'm talking about young, healthy people. You have people with chest problems. They still have a cough. They're short of breath. They have to be on medication every day so they can breathe. They're finding a lot of people have damage to their heart muscles. I mean, real damage to their heart muscles that they can't exercise as they used to exercise. One thing that bothers me is mental fog. I mean, I have no problem remembering things now, but a lot of people...
Young girl like you, Doc.
Huh?
Young girl like you.
Mental fog. These people can't remember. They can't even complete a sentence because they can't recall the word they want to say. They can't do simple calculation. What about loss of taste and smell? Do you realize how important it is? We all know a lot of people have it for the 2 weeks. But some people months later cannot taste the food, cannot smell the food. And some people are losing the hair. The hair is just falling out. And these are just a few things. People are so concerned because they say Quebec has 30% of people who contracted the virus, who, in fact, many of them were never very sick.
Oh,
who are coming out with these.
So if I'm reading you right, Doc, you're saying
that
to believe that we are safe using the method of herd immunity is really a fallacy. It's just problematic, just the same.
Bad thing, because this COVID, this virus basically is damaging. So basically.
By the way, Doc, one second, Doc. Just to tell our listeners, when we talk about herd immunity, what we're talking about is allowing yourself to catch it, get over it, and then be immune after that. All right. So public just understand that when we talk about herd immunity, basically that.
You are the, you know what, Ed, you're the one that used that terminology. You're the one that brought it up.
So I thought it was my responsibility. I thought it was my responsibility to explain it.
Anyway, what herd immunity means, and actually, when most people talk about herd immunity, what they're saying is, if enough people in the community
gets
the virus, either naturally or by vaccine, if they get a vaccine and they build up immunity against the virus, then other people in the community will benefit from the immunity from these people. In other words, not 100% of people have to develop their own immunity, but if enough people contract
in the community,
then they will in turn protect the other people who have not come down with the disease. So that's what herd immunity is. And there's some governments that was indicating that's what they wanted.
I think Sweden was one of them. I think.
Yes, they didn't want to close anything down. They said, "Come on, man, that's like with chicken pox." And I'm in the days of chicken pox. Come, let's just get chicken pox and get over it. Well, no, it's not a good thing because there's long-term effect on healthy people. Now have not returned to normal. It's a bad thing.
Like
bad,
chikungunya, like chickpea.
Yes. It's still having people walking around with arthritis and all that kind of stuff, man. Not back to normal.
Okay.
So remember, this virus is just 12 months old, and they're finding out a lot of people are not back to normal. So guys, don't think if you don't die, don't think you're going to be okay. You may be unfortunate to be one of these things. So that theory, let me just get the virus and not the vaccine. Don't go there. Don't go there. The second thing I want to talk about is this so-called protocol fatigue. And Julia asked me to talk about protocol. Man, I mean, you guys have heard these protocols. I mean, through your teeth and everything. I don't need to tell you the protocols. Why people to talk about fatigue? So this is what I thought about. I left Jamaica in 1980, and I mean, I love Jamaica so much, man. Every year I came back. But my greatest concern was the violence. I mean, I was, my greatest concern was really trying to keep myself safe when I returned to Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
And, can you imagine, Ed, if you live in a community where, when you go to bed at night, it's not safe. A gunman can come in on you.
It can happen anytime.
And and Ed, you're this macho man. So man, you know what, man? I have my gun, I have my machete, I have my defense mechanism here. And a gunman that coming on me, man, I'm just going to just get rid of them, right?
Yeah.
So this is macho Ed. He goes macho Ed, man. He goes to bed.
You hear that, Julia?
He don't close his door. He don't close his window.
Who tell you that?
He don't even have any grill. Huh?
Who tell you that?
Him don't even have any grill work, man. I'm not spending.
Somebody chatting no business.
I'm not spending no money on no grill work because guess what, man? My defense mechanism is just going to kill any gunman coming to my home. Is that you? Is that you, Ed?
Yes.
I know. No, that's not smart.
No, I don't live with a firearm. No. I don't live with a firearm. I don't have one. Let me just state that. I don't have one.
So smart Julia is going to say, man, me, I don't care, man. I am going to lock up my windows, my doors, my grill work because my best defense is not to allow that gunman to come into my home at all. Right, Julia?
Which is what she does, yes.
Right. So the same thing with this COVID thing. This virus, you don't want it coming into your body at all.
Mm-hmm.
You put up your defense mechanism because once it comes into your body, what damage is it going to be doing? You don't know what damage. Is it going to damage your heart, your lung, whatever. So that is my word to people out there. We have these protocols. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Keep a distance. These are your defense, not to allow the virus to come into your body. Yes, if it comes in, your antibodies going to start rolling and whatever. How long is it going to take? 2 weeks to kick in?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much damage can be done by this virus in that meantime?
Yeah, indeed.
That picture to me is what I'd like to leave with you guys. You can be like Ed, yeah.
Like who?
Come on, virus. Come on, virus. I'm not scared of you. I'll just blow your apart whenever you're coming. Or I can be like Julia and say, no, man, I'm not taking it. I don't want you in my body. Follow the protocols, people. Follow the protocols.
All right.
That is the best way to do it. And I'm just about done. That's it from me.
All right, Doc. One of the things I want you to explain again for people, though, final thing, is the reason, separate and apart from the individual health reason, like in the community, the spread of COVID, hospitalization, and the bedding and all that kind of thing. Could you enlighten us on that? Tell us again. Hospitalization, the availability of beds and all of that. Explain again the importance of not being sick in relation to the burden on the health system.
Guys, by the way, let me just tell you something about being sick. I've spoken to people who have had a mild attack, and they said they don't want the worst enemy to have a mild attack.
Mm-hmm.
Even just getting a mild attack, you feel horrible. And if you are sick enough that you need oxygen, you need to be taken care of. There is no place for you to go. The hospitals are full. The nurses and doctors are tired. And the chances, if you're sick and even get into the hospital, the chances of you really surviving is much less if doctors and nurses are sick. You don't want to be sick with COVID-19 and try to get into any hospital right now. They're telling you, they're tired. There are no beds.
Mm-hmm.
So we have gotten to a point now where Jamaica is in a really and truly severe state where COVID-19 needs to be taken care of. You guys have to start paying attention. You have to start paying it. It's a critical condition we're in right now. So I don't know how else to put it plain. You don't want the disease at all, and there's no place for you to go now if you're sick. There's no one to take care of you because people are just really tired and the beds are full. So it's critical. You know, and what else can I say? You know, what else can I say?
So
you have to protect yourself.
So if we don't take heed, what alternatives do the authorities have in relation to?
I mean, you talk about you want them to arrest people because they don't have mask on or whatever. Let me tell you something.
Can't put everybody in jail.
Ed, let me tell you something. We can't expect government to do every single thing, okay? We can't. I mean, they have done a whole lot. What's going to happen in Jamaica? We're going to have these body bags piling up, like what happened in New York. People are going to be dying, and the funeral homes can't even take care of the bodies, and they're going to have to bring in refrigerated trucks to keep the bodies. That's what's going to happen. You know, the government cannot do everything. They can't put a mask on. You know how many people have masks in their back pockets? Walking around with mask in their back pocket when you ask them for it. What good is that? You understand? The government can't be dependent on, but they use police to go arrest people now because you don't have mask on. Come on, guys. Take care of yourself.
Okay. And certainly what about a lockdown in terms of your opinion?
You know, lockdown has limited effect because people are still going to, until people realize the seriousness of it. You lock it down. You know, Jamaicans can find some way to get around anything you have. You know that. We are very good at finding a way around everything. All the lockdown is going to just hurt the economy more. And with the vaccine around the corner, the vaccine is coming in a few days. I'm not really much, but what they need to do is to enforce the laws they already have. You know, the curfew, off the street at 8 o'clock. If you don't have a mask, even if you're not going to arrest somebody, you can warn them and say, man, the next time I see you without a mask, you're not going to find you. I think we as citizens need to start enforcing. If someone coming into your business place and they don't have their mask, and you tell them, step out that door, don't come in without your mask. We have to take over some of that responsibility and start enforcing these. We can't depend on the police to do everything and the government. We have to say, no, put your mask on. Sanitize your hand before you come inside here. So we have to take on that responsibility to save our lives, to save our mothers' lives, to save our grandmother's life. I mean, we have to do that because we know better than other people. So that is where I think the responsibility is. The government has done a lot. They've educated us to bring in the vaccine, but they're overwhelmed now. There's not much more they can do. We have to step in and say, listen to me, man. Let's take some responsibility ourselves and try and get this thing over and done with. Guys, this virus is not our friend, it is our enemy. A virus cannot survive outside. It needs to get into something. And when it gets into something, it's going to do everything to survive. It's going to multiply.
Whatever
it's
damage.
Going to mutate. It's going to mutate so that your immune system cannot detect it. And if we don't get it under control, there may come a time when you may have a strain, a variant that nothing is going to work against it. That is when we run into problems. So we need to put a stop to it. We need to put a stop to it now and start doing what we're supposed to do. And when the vaccine comes, guys, let's all go there and get it. I know I'm lined up for it, you know, so that's all I can tell you, people.
And funnily, I hear Ebola is on the rise again in Africa.
Oh, yeah, but you know, they have a vaccine for Ebola now.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, they have a vaccine. You know, I think it's an mRNA vaccine, like what they use for the thing. That they developed that vaccine, and you know, 50% of people who get Ebola die.
Yes,
I mean, if it's
the rate is high.
Oh yeah, like 50% of people who get it will die, and so they're not messing around. The WHO is jumping on it and vaccinating the people in the area. So all kind of things out there.
So as a final word, Doc, just summarize.
My final word is this virus is not your friend. So don't think, you know, if you contract it, it's going to be your friend and it just you're just gonna have immunity and you're going to be okay, because no, that's not guaranteed. Yeah, you may recover fully, but you may not. You may have long-term problems. The vaccine is working. It's we can see what's happening in other countries.
In the US, yes.
And the other thing is you don't let a gunman what come into your house. You don't let this vaccine come into your body.
The virus, you mean?
Practice the protocol.
The virus, you mean?
Yeah, you don't let the virus come into your body. So you just practice the protocol.
All right.
Those are my words.
All right. Thanks ever so much again, Dr. Thorpe. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody listening to Fit FM now, I wanted to just tell you that we've been talking to Dr. Andrea Thorpe, pediatrician, general practitioner, community service person, because all this advice she's giving it because she's concerned about the community. I want to thank you once again so much, Doctor. And God willing, we will have you here again another time, but not for the bad side of health. Really. I mean, it would be more about us taking care of ourselves as you do on a Friday. Yeah. Thank you ever so much, ma'am.
Yeah, and I'm able, any topic out there, because I'm actually a community doctor. I do a lot of work in community.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Take care, guys.
Okay. Take good care of yourself and be safe. God bless you, Doc. And thanks again.
Take care.
You're listening to Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. You're into the Buzz, Community Buzz, your current affairs program, here with Ed Wallace, your host. And we'll be up with you for the next 2 hours or so. Getting to a break. We'll be right back.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. Hey. Whoa, yeah. I'm searching for a better way. I'm searching for a better day. Try to keep my feet on the right road, yes. Searching for a better day. Hey. A new day has come, making way for the brighter tomorrow. Yeah. See the rising sun, dry away your tears and your sorrows. Yeah. It's not over till it's over. The struggle goes on. Yeah. We seek no crumbs from the slave master stable. Yeah, it's our redemption now. I'm searching for a better way. I'm searching for a better day. Trying to keep my feet on the right road. Yeah, searching for a better day. Yeah. So many times I've been misunderstood. People thinking I'm up to no good. Everybody want come push and shove. I did the things that I know that I should. But I try, I got nothing to prove. No, alright, I'm still on the move. All I know, this is the way I choose. And I got none to lose. Searching for a better way. Searching for a better day. Try to keep my feet off the ground, yeah. Searching for a better day. Whoa. I won't be satisfied until I get what I deserve. The skies have no limit, so I wanna fly like a bird. I'll keep on trying until I break that spell. Gotta make it happen all the time. Searching for a better way. Yeah, I'm searching for a better day. Trying to keep my feet on the right road. Yeah, searching for a better day. Searching for a better way. I'm searching for a better day. Trying to keep my feet on the right road. Yeah, searching for a better day. keep my feet on the right road.
Yeah, man, we're back. We're back here on Community Buzz, your community affairs program on Fit FM 96.7. You are with, you're keeping company with Ed Wallace this afternoon again. Always look forward to it. So, yeah, we just finished part of the COVID program that we do here every week. And, you know, that's in the minutes that we did COVID last week. But just to look back at a couple of things, just to say, this 1 in 3 thing that Dr. Thorpe spoke about, seeing, is that here's what she said. If you find one person with COVID at a spot, you can almost bet that there are 3 other persons around. All right? So, or rather 2 other persons around. Because I don't know if she said 1 to 3 ratio or 1 in 3. So that is 2 or 3 other persons around. So that when we're looking at 20,000 cases of COVID now, and let me not say 20,000 to be alarming. Let us just use the active cases of 8,000. If we use the active cases of 8,000, we multiply that by 3. Multiply that by 3. 3 8 are 24. Huh? No, say go. It must go right? My brain is foggy. Like say your brain will be foggy. Yeah. So that's a whole lot. A whole lot of people around us are having this virus. All right. The other thing that was alarming that we just learned is that there are long-term implications for COVID in some cases. Some people never really get over COVID-19 because it bent them up so badly. Heart problems, breathing problems, joint problems, all kind of problems. All right. So the idea of, okay, it's okay to get COVID and then be better is perhaps not the best strategy. All right. Observe the protocols. Wash hands. Keep your distance. What else? Wear your mask. You know, all those 3 protocols. All right. And turn your yard. 4th one. Turn your yard if you can. All right. She's recommended that we use all the protocols just the same. There's no point. Oh, and she's encouraging that we take the vaccine when it comes around. There is no point letting the virus into your personal space. So if it is a vaccine that going to keep him out, use the vaccine to keep it out. All right. And a warning, the beds in the hospitals are filling up. There's no space. So those who want to go on a ventilator, this is what Dr. Christopherson was talking about a long time ago. The government does not want to have to make the decision as to who goes on a ventilator and who does not. Just like how the government is having to make the decision now with respect to vaccine, who get vaccine and who don't get vaccine right away. Incidentally, there was a couple that was arrested in the United States a few days ago for getting their first dose and then moving somewhere else to go con the system to try and get their second dose. As Doc said, Jamaicans always try to find out those weren't Jamaicans. So scammers, they're all about. But the long and short is that there are not enough beds, and worse yet, there are not enough ventilators. Some I could try. Some of us might get it and find that it was hard for us to avoid it, and they plead the blood of Jesus over that. The eventuality is of none of some devastating effect, but that is for the situations where we couldn't help it. All right, but to the extent that we can help it, let us just work to get rid of this thing. We cannot afford fatigue. COVID fatigue, we cannot afford it. Protocol fatigue, we cannot afford it. Let us just try. All right? So that is the word as I have it, as I have paraphrased from Dr. Andrea Thorpe. So I was saying minutes. We did COVID last week, and I saw a news item that suggests that the COVID, what you call it now, temporary hospital that was supposed to be built in Falmouth, which was supposed to be ready in December, then it was not ready. Then it was supposed to be ready in January, not ready. Was supposed to be ready mid-February, not ready. Will be ready for the end of February. So we're really not looking forward to a whole heap of COVID people. But in case we have them, we're hoping that the facilities will be in place to take that burden off the original bed spaces that we have. All right. Rockbridge, we're just putting out Rockbridge as a reminder. We're putting out Refuge and Stuart Castle, the street light and the road, and what else for them? Garbage? Garbage still on? Just putting out a reminder. We got a promise about 2 programs ago that Refuge will be looked into as we go along with respect to the road, but the street lights are still outstanding, and let us see what can happen with the street light for both Refuge and Stuart Castle. Mr. Service, my good friend, the debris is still in Martha Bray on the corner there. So, postponed. I was just asking about local government elections. That is postponed for a while due to COVID. I think postponed for another year or 2. I can't remember how long. Yeah. So Mr. Service has a lot more time to do a lot more work. So, Mr. Service, that debris there. Oh my God, I don't want to sound ungrateful, so let me leave that other argument. The murders continue. Murders continue. And I don't even know how to state this, because right now we say church should be a safe space, and it is not. It is not. And let us not pretend either, because this is not the first case of somebody, a church shoot up. It is not the first case. The first time at Trelawney, first time at Falmouth, but it's not the first case. And somehow that is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to our friend, Mr. Wallace, Sergeant Wallace, to just find out from him what kind of activities are taking place, community activities are taking place right now, as we try to combat crime as communities, and what kind of support is being given now to ensure or to try to get neighborhood watches and cities association up and running. So we have that. Murder. How many murders we have this weekend? We have murder in Portmore, murder in St. Catherine, murder. I don't know. So we have to find something to, some way of trying to deal with these issues. We also spoke to the champion gardener, Mrs. Spencer Smith, Sweeter Teacher. All right. And she was a winner of the 4-H gardening competition for Trelawney. She has moved on to the national championships. So we will see what comes of that. And Mrs. Spencer Smith is actually a teacher and the 4-H coordinator for Mushet High School. All right. Yeah, I don't think I can say nothing more about COVID. I don't think there's much more to say about COVID. You know, just follow the protocol. Protocol. Oh, yes, we can say something more about COVID, but not COVID in and of itself. Big item of news recently. Big item of news is that the government was spending or tabled a budget somewhere, someplace, sometime for $422 million for the promotion of the COVID vaccine, the marketing of the COVID vaccine thing. And it created a lot of raised eyebrows in Parliament and elsewhere. 422 million. Now, if we are resisting the vaccine in the kind of way that Dr. Thorpe is afraid of us doing, by saying that we might as well just catch it, get over it, and all of that. If we insist on taking that questionable route, maybe the $422 million is not enough. I know that the government has backed off of this $422 million. But when we look at what is at stake, and it might not be a 4-month campaign against COVID and vaccination. It may be a far longer term kind of approach. I want to know whether or not we really just look on the money and say $422 million too much, or have we looked at the implications of not having, well, let me take that back. Have we looked at the implications of not having a campaign against COVID and the use of the vaccine, so much so that we are all protected? We're talking about our mothers, we're talking about our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, our children, all of that. That is what we're talking about. Have we weighed it before we start complaining about 422 million? Yeah? So that is a question, because let me tell you something. A responsible opposition party in parliament is supposed to do good opposition work. Good opposition work in terms of doing their research, and coming up with ideas or questioning the government on things that may be detrimental to the nation. But have we considered really? No, the opposition did a good job in pointing it out. But then we look at another situation with the same COVID, and we have a caller. I'm a little bit discombobulated. We have a caller. Give me a good second and let me take this call. All right, I come back to this 422 mil. Who are we talking to now? Who are we talking to this time, producer? Hello, good afternoon. Community Buzz, good afternoon. Hello. Hello. Hello, are you there? All right, we'll get back to that call in a minute. All right, so I was saying that the 422 million must be weighed against the background of the number of body bags that we could have as a result of not taking all the measures we can to prevent the deaths that we just heard about from Dr. Thorpe. If we're looking at refrigeration units being brought in to store dead bodies and all of that kind of thing, maybe the 422 million is not a bad deal. I think we have that caller now. Good afternoon, caller.
A pleasant afternoon to you, sir. How are you doing today?
I am well, thank you.
Wonderful. 422 million is a holy bone, So I'm in Montego Bay, and I'm loving the program so far. You had my friend Dr. Thorpe on earlier.
Yeah.
I didn't get to hear because I was in a location that the reception wasn't as I would like it.
Oh, listeners,
Right.
this is my fit colleague,
Hold on,
Roddy
man,
G,
hold on, man. No call
Roddy
no name,
General.
no call no name, Bridget. We can't have a reason,
Me have a
Bridget.
big you up, man. Have a big you up.
Ed,
All right, come with it.
Ed.
Yes?
All right. I didn't get the benefit. Well, so Dr. Thorpe spoke to me for a very short while, for 5 minutes.
Yes.
A few days ago.
Yes.
And I left the questions because I figured your program would be more appropriate to ventilate
Yeah,
those
man.
questions.
So I gave you the executive summary to do, and I will do the full Monty.
No, it's a listener that brought my attention to it, And the one question the listener texts me and say, how Dr. Thorpe is such an advocate for the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And she tried as best she could in the 5 minutes to address some of the headline questions that most people would have when she spoke to me. And so I didn't benefit from hearing the conversation earlier. But I like where you go. I hear, with the $422 million marketing campaign that the government is proposing to undertake.
No, man, they backed off the 422 million.
They backed. What do you mean they backed off it?
They're rethinking it.
They're going to need more money to convince us to save our lives?
No, less.
They're going to need less to convince us to save our lives.
Right.
That sounds interesting, man. So why did they do that? Why they backpedal?
I'm not even done my point yet to that. I come and jack me. But here's the deal. There's an outcry from the opposition in relation to 422 million. COVID, to my mind, is not something that we can play politics with, because the politics of envy is not a good politics. We need a good opposition, right? And so we have, to my mind, we have to weigh for the Jamaican public whether or not, when we look at the possibilities with respect to body bag or body bags, whether or not 422 million is even enough to really
stick up in right there. So
yes, sir.
We have gone 11 months into the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I am very sorry I didn't get all of Dr. Thorpe's conversation, but there are some very practical questions, and there are some realities and truths that we have to come to grips with.
Mm-hmm.
How do you equate the fact that the proposed vaccine has so many drawbacks, and these are real drawbacks. These aren't imaginary. These aren't political points. These are real things. It's an experimental drug authorized for emergency use. What qualifies as an emergency? In one year, our Jamaican reality for a deadly virus. Now, God bless the souls that were lost, whether coincidentally or directly to COVID-19. We've lost 400 souls to a deadly virus in 11 months. Murder, all other illnesses, you're still losing souls. And you're saying that the opposition is playing politics.
No. If you'd allowed me to finish my point, you would hear what I'm saying.
All right.
I'm saying
Go ahead.
that COVID is not supposed to be a thing that we play politics with. So the opposition need to weigh the value of this $400 million and the party in power now, the government, needs not to be tone deaf. They need to be responsible to look at things like these before they come out with figures. Because now that the government is backing off the $422 million, it suggests that it could be done for less in the first place. Are you with me?
All right.
So there are two sides of the coin here. In one side, is it enough that the opposition should complain? And on the other side of the coin, has the government of Jamaica knowingly put out $422 million when it could be done for less?
Done for less. done for less. All right, so it's a campaign, so it's a marketing campaign to advise and educate the populace that you need to take this vaccine. All right, and the question is, could it be done for less?
Yeah, that
Are
is
we
a-
looking for body bags?
Right.
All right.
Right.
Knowing that it could be done for less. Well, you see that question that you've asked?
Yes.
I will interpret it one way. I'm not sure I'm interpreting the way that you intended. Because
go ahead, no problem.
I am getting what you're, from what I glean, your intention could be is that, yes, we need a marketing campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
And
personally, I believe that we do. Personally, I believe that we do.
All right. Cool. I get that perspective. Now, could it have been less? You know, there are a lot of things that are happening under the umbrella of COVID-19 that should make you ask, is it necessary? Could it have been done differently? I heard a news item last week that says doctors were offered hazard pay for COVID-19. You heard that news item?
No, but I would reject that argument so badly you wouldn't believe it, because I'm a safety professional by everything. For years and years, I'm a safety professional. You can't pay me for hazard. You can't pay me for hazard.
That's an interesting point.
The idea is to take the hazard out of the job so that I can work safely. So as a safety man, I'm going to take that position there about hazard pay.
It's a good thing. You know, they're not, was it Port Antonio or St. Mary?
Huh?
St. Mary, County Julia. Yes, man, somewhere up the line, them are hit out hard enough because they were promised hazard pay. And they're stressed.
That is the thing in industry, see, Roddy, sorry to cut you, but in industry, if forget COVID, in industry out there, in the utilities, in the bauxite processing companies, everybody want hazard pay. Now hazard pay is nonsense. You're getting paid to face a hazard. That's a no. Spend the money in protecting me from the hazard so that my family is not at a loss when I'm either incapacitated or dead.
All right.
So anybody from any side who is promoting hazard pay,
it was done. It is not.
It's a no.
It was done. It was promised. And the question is, now you're promised with this thing here, and we can't get it.
No. Anybody who's saying, we not agree with the people who are saying we promised this and we not get it. The people the people who are balling for hazard pay should be balling for protection, not money.
All right. So, we don't have to explore that point. Don't blow that point out of the water.
All right, cool.
It was coming against the backdrop that, listen, there are so many things there are so many expenditure being done in the name of COVID-19 that you'd want the opposition to take a critical look. You'd want Jamaicans to take a critical look at what is happening and ask the relevant questions. And so many questions are still left unanswered. And I appreciate doctors. I appreciate politicians who come and they put forward these arguments as to needing to educate the masses. But me still dumb, Ed. Me still dumb because certain things I can't understand. I can't understand how you have an emergency situation for a deadly virus that is so contagious that for 1 year into it, we still haven't. We were so successful at leveling the curve, apparently, that only a minor number of people have been infected. Secondly, those who are affected, Dr. Thorpe's statistics, as she shared with me, 21 out of every 5 persons that you come in contact with these days would be a carrier of the virus. That is her statistics, not mine. And if it is so prevalent, and there are so many people that are asymptomatic, and the World Health Organization statistics say 80% are asymptomatic, why you need a vaccine?
Wait, no, Ruddy G, let me tell you this, What Dr. Thorpe told us today in terms of her statistics and the need for the vaccine. Firstly, I don't think I need to defend her because what she spoke is facts, right? It's better to keep the virus out than to get it and do anything. And I can see her being concerned for her patients, for her family, for everybody around her. So I don't need to put
defend
out
that position.
right.
All right. Cool.
Right.
No. All right.
What I'm saying though is that the initial, what she's saying is not strange because the initial projection for COVID, as I recall it, coming from the Minister of Health
and Wellness,
was that 2/3 of the population is likely to get COVID.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was within, I think, the first 2 months or so.
No, that was the speculation at the start of the
Right.
pandemic.
So
it is so contagious and it's a virgin population, and so it is expected that up to 75% of the population should contract.
So what the goodly doctor is saying is not out of step with that.
No, that is those were the speculations from early days. No, and we can't dispute that because the level of testing, we don't have any data to whether support or denounce that. We have not tested the population enough to know if this thing has walked through the island or not. That is a fact.
True.
But anyhow, all right. So what I am getting at is the public is where you are now. So put aside, we just revert to the need for the vaccine and we're equating it with the intent to spend money to educate the population. And there's a disconnect for people who think like me. Apparently not a lot. So you probably have got to take the few away and put you in our advanced class or a retarded class and bring us up to speed because the dots don't connect.
Which dots you want to connect? That's not connecting.
Connect.
What dots are not connecting?
You can't say you have an emergency, you have a deadly virus that you now have 80%. You have, and it has been proven that 80% of the people are asymptomatic. You want to use an experimental drug on the population, and furthermore, you will never achieve herd immunity because guess what? You're only getting 15%. You're only getting vaccine to inoculate 15% of the population. 15%. It moved from 15% yet?
What?
And 15
in terms of vaccination?
Yes.
I'm not so sure whether or not it has moved yet, but the truth of the matter is that would be initial vaccination.
That's right. And that initial vaccination is to run from April to when? That's a period, I think you're looking at 15% of the population for this year. In practical terms, for this deadly, highly contagious virus. Remember, I use the terms that the government use: deadly and highly contagious.
It's highly contagious.
In practical terms, inoculating 15% of the population, where are you going? Is there a barrier that you're going to create? You're going to inoculate. How
two points I want to make. 2 points I want to make. One is with respect to the vaccine itself, and then the question that you just asked now, the 15%. Right. All right. Let us deal with the question of the efficacy of the vaccine. Remember, we are not in this alone. It's not Jamaica alone in it. Right? No, we take a lot of our cues from the WHO. So I am thinking, Roddy, for better or for worse, I'm thinking that once the World Health Organization puts forward a proposal in a scenario like this, then that is what most countries across the world are going to go by. How many countries we're talking about? 193? That is what most of that 190 are going to go about. So I can knock the government of Jamaica
for subscribing to that concept.
All right, cool. Now, number two, with the 15%. Again, I don't want to be explaining it for the government of Jamaica. And please, Roddy, the government of Jamaica, my mind, the government of Jamaica is different from the political administration. Are you hearing me?
All right.
The
Hold on,
government
as
of
you've said it, and so I'm internalizing it now. I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
right, the government
of Jamaica
is
is
different from the
political
political administration who has power now.
That needs
The-
a little more clarity for me.
All right. I'm explaining what I'm explaining. Siding with the government of Jamaica, not siding with the JLP government.
Oh, no, okay.
All right?
Right, the government of Jamaica. All right, no
Yes,
problem.
the government of Jamaica is different from the political administration. So what I'm believing now is that 15%, this is my thinking. Not a defense, but it's plausible. If somebody told me this, I would accept it. That the 15%, when you pick out the frontline workers, when you pick out the essential workers and so on, right? You remember in my conversation with Doc was saying that the workers are tired and frustrated now and all of that kind of thing. You don't want to be dealing with them. Well, in the same way you don't want to be dealing with tired, you don't want to be dealing with doctors who are COVID infected. You want them protected. You don't want to give them hazard pay. You want to protect them. And so you
don't protect your head.
Wait, you're telling me that it can't?
It don't. Doc said it. There's no proof. It is a fact. It is stated. Being injected, getting the vaccine doesn't prevent you. Has not been proven. All right. I realize you're getting another call. But
No man. Stay on the line, Roddy G. We're talking.
If you check the facts, you're not going to get. You getting the vaccine doesn't say that you are immune. And Doc answered these questions. There's no data yet.
Well,
there's no.
Let me tell you something.
Hold on a moment before you tell me. There is no data yet because this is new. It's all speculation. And because they can't verify the information, they can't verify and say, once you get this shot, you will not contract the disease. What they're saying is that you can still get it, but the effect, it won't kill you. That's the headline. We don't get into the details of the science.
All right, Roddy, here's what I'm going to say to you. Here's what I'm going to say.
Protected.
Here's what I'm going to I did not.
The virus either.
I did not hear what you heard.
All right.
I did not hear what you heard. And I challenge anybody to call me today and tell me that Doc told us on radio here today.
I didn't hear Doc's thing. I'm reading, I'm giving you data, I'm giving you facts from the CDC, from the World
No, man, I thought you
Authority.
said Doc said it's not effective.
No, yes, in our conversation, she did say, question.
Oh, I see.
Is it proven?
Oh, I see. I can't speak to that. I can't speak to that conversation.
All right, no problem. Cool.
All right.
So this 15% that you are going to inoculate, still have to social distance, still have to take the precautions.
My brother, we have 2 minutes, yeah?
All right, no problem. So, yeah. All of that information, put with the fact, says 15% of the population is what you're going to target. Put with the fact, say it doesn't prohibit, it doesn't stem the spread of the virus.
Oh, hear me now. The problem that we get ourselves in is that we're arguing from two different premises. Yeah? You're arguing from the premise that the vaccine, not sure about it, not now go on feet. And I'm arguing from the premise that yes, the WHO, WHO, we always in them something, you know. So yeah, so the WHO has approved, it is accepted internationally, and therefore it is the thing that we're working with. Now, if you're working from the premise that it will not work, we're going to find ourselves in trouble. And then you have the facts to back it. And I'm working from the premise that it can work because I take my lead from the expert, the WHO. Then we're going to have a long argument and then not go work out.
Time will reveal.
All right, cool. Thank you for calling in, my brother. It's always a good thing for chat to you, especially about this COVID thing, because yo, you rock my brain more time, my friend. Trust me. Take good care. Be safe. Yeah?
Catch you, yeah, man.
All right,
Cool.
bless you, bless you, bless you. Yeah, man, we take a break at this time. That was the Don Dr. Ruddy G, the general. I'm a friend, my friend. As him say, him think differently about this thing. And so, him have to ask the questions. And he's not opposed to learning, you know? So, there.
Oliver's Pharmacy, located at 26 Market Street, Falmouth, is your friendly community pharmacy. Fill your prescriptions, get personal advice, gifts, over-the-counter medicines, cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar tests. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Telephone 876-617-3779. Oliver's Pharmacy, a proud community partner of Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Phoenix Health and Vision Center now has 2 locations. St. Anne's Bay, 65 Main Street beside the health center. And now Shop 30 Champion Plaza, Falmouth, Trelawney. You heard me right. Shop 30 Champion Plaza, Falmouth, Trelawney. The only full-service eye care center for all your designer frames and designer glasses. Complete eye care. Book all your appointments now in St. Anne's Bay. Call 876-972-2388. 876-589-8327. For Falmouth and its environs, call this number 876-533-0540. Looking forward to seeing you at both locations. Phoenix Health and Vision Center. Now at Champion Plaza, Falmouth, Trelawney.
Yes. We are back and we are black. Fit FM 96.7. Producer drop. Your life, your music. We're into your community affairs program. The community buzz. Whatever, man, I get foggy. And I'm Ed Wallace, your host. All right. So we have my friend Hugh Porter online, I think. Yes, we do. Hugh Porter, my friend. Well, we may have lost him. We're going to try and reach him back. Yeah. But Hugh Porter is a thinker who I respect. We don't always agree, but I see him putting out some things on Facebook, and it's not directly community related. However, it can have implications for community and how we grow our children. Hugh Porter, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, man, my friend Hugh Porter, man. I just to tell the people on Fit FM about you. And you used to work in the parish to Trelawney, right?
Definitely. Trelawney is my adopted parish. I love the people out there. I used to work for the parish council.
Yes, you used to be at the municipality, and then now me and your water commission and all other places and all kind of things. Not true, yeah, man. All right.
When I was young and stupid.
No, say when we were. No, but no, we'll have that. When we were young and stupid, we worked for water commission. No. I cannot say that. Everything I have now. No, you Porter. I have to make this declaration before God deal with me badly. Everything I have in my life now, National Water Commission formed the basis for that. Every single thing that I have between National Water Commission, the workplace, and National Water Commission Credit Union. Everything I have.
I will retract that then. All right. So, when we were young.
All right. So you know, I'm beg you for calling me now. It's because more of the people them hear the vibes that way I put out. So you wrote a little thing on Facebook which I picked up, and it concerns political nepotism through genealogy. That too much?
Yeah, genetically linked people.
Yeah, man. Tell the people of Trelawney why I say, and how does it impact the 1-1 community and their children? The people of communities and their children.
Well, I want to say, nepotism in politics is not new or unique to Jamaica. What is it called? Bush the senior, the elder, and Bush the son. They were both presidents of the United States.
You're driving? You're driving? You Porter, you're driving?
Yes, I'm not driving. I'm on the road with the little one. So
I
had hoped to be back home, I know, but I'm still on the road.
Oh, we're getting a little bit, All right, let's continue and see. So you were saying George Bush Senior and George W.
Gandhi in India, there is nothing new. So I'm not accusing anybody of doing something that is unique. But what I'm saying, in our culture, it is a bit pervasive on both sides of the political spectrum. And what I notice is that people who have what you would say high earning careers would sacrifice these careers as lawyers and doctors to take a modest job as a politician and then pass on. There must be something in there that we're not seeing why these people would abandon high paying profession and then after being in there want to pass it on to their sons and daughters and family.
So
and at the same time,
so what you think might be there? What do you think might be there? What is there you think behind the scenes?
Well, I'm not. I'm just putting it out to people. They can form their own conclusions. A doctor, a highly skilled doctor, is going to be working anyway. Some specialist doctors work in excess of $1 million a month. And there must be something that is causing so many of these professionals to abandon these high-paying jobs and go into politics. And what I see is that I'm familiar with the pay grade for politicians, and when I look at what they're paid on the books or their official pay, and when I look at the typical politician lifestyle, there's a sort of incongruence in my mind that people who are so modestly paid, to me, they would have to have some financial wizardry to maintain some of the lifestyle that I see some politicians have. I'm not casting any aspersions on any one particular person, but I'm saying these people are some form of geniuses, and they need to use their talent to better help the country and the people of the country to develop, because there are some parts of the country where you have people living in very bad conditions, and yet they are represented by people in this part of the Upper St. Andrew. Everybody lives in Upper St. Andrew and represents very poor constituency.
All right, suppose I tell you this. Suppose I put this to you, Hugh Porter. Suppose I put it to you that a lot of us who are poor and in those kind of situation in our constituency are in that condition or those conditions simply because we are lazy and depending on patronage.
I would tell you that I would disagree. Yes, let me tell you why people have come to dependent on this. What Carl Stone called clientelism and patronage, because nothing. All right, let us take up a fictitious constituency. Call it constituency X. For the entire greater part of 4 years, you do not see the member of parliament. The roads are deplorable. The people live in poverty and squalor. And yet, when there is time for there to be an election on the 5th year, you find that these people have 20 odd million, 30 odd millions to to distribute around the constituency, and the people are there are right in saying that if you don't give me 10 grand or you don't give me 15 grand, I'm not voting, because that is the only thing they are getting.
Isn't that
And
what you just explained? What you just explained a while ago, Hugh Porter? Isn't that the crux of the corruption? Isn't Hugh Porter? Hugh Porter.
No, I don't think that's it. I don't think that is crux of the corruption. Why would somebody, and it's the whole the politics is a minister is chosen from a member of parliament.
Stop. Pause for a second. Pause for a second for me, Mr. Porter. You're listening to Fit FM 96.7, Your Life, Your Music. You're into the Community Buzz, your community affairs program. And we talk to my friend Hugh Porter. Is a thinker. Me and him clash all the while. And we're clash this evening for Fit FM. And we're going to relate it. When we're done, we're going to relate it to the actual communities. So don't feel no way. We're not off the grid in terms of our community program. So we're getting right back to it. So you, what I was saying to you now, when I said the crux of the corruption, isn't the people decidedly depending on patronage, not bribing politicians for their vote, and that is the corruption of which I speak?
No, that's a simplistic view, because look at it. The people in the community are not seeing a politician until the next 4.5 years.
Yeah, grab him. Yet when they grab him, they ask for the money in exchange for the vote. Isn't that the corruption?
That's all they're getting. That's all they're getting. You understand? So what the bigger question is, why would somebody who cannot find any money to fix the roads? There's no social programs. There's no real economic development and growth in the constituency. How comes they can find $30-40 million to run an election campaign?
All right, this is one of the first time. This is one of the first time.
That is the real corruption.
You are the only guest on this radio show that don't get to just pose your opinion and me not argue with you. You are the only guest that have in the almost 1 year that I am arguing with and I am prepared to argue with. All right. So I'm saying to you now, you don't agree with me that the corruption come from the root. No, I'm putting it to you now. I'm putting it to you now.
These people are victims. I look at those people who collecting 10,000, 20,000 in a t-shirt to vote as the victim. But they are the victims.
You, Porter, I'm saying that is the corruption. If we don't see a man for 4 years and vote for him for $20,000, that is the corruption, isn't it?
Well, it's like, you and I are not saying something different, we are saying the same coin, but you're looking at the tail and I'm looking at the head.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. And I'm telling you, and I'm suggesting to you that for the last umpteen years, what we've been involved in Jamaica is what I call wag the dog politics.
But what? All right. Let us assume that the people now get wise and say, look, like they have done many times, and say, no, we don't want to see you around here, so we never hear from you for the last 4 years. We have voted you, and they exercise their franchise.
Mm-hmm. Because
of this thing, the problem is systemic. The next politician that comes in, nothing going to change. What is going to change?
No, we live in a democracy. You Porter, we live in a democracy. We can vote for the poorest, kindest, gentlest man in the community if we feel like it. But when we decide that we're going to vote for the $20,000, I'm insisting that therein lies the corruption.
All right, because I love Trelawney so much, I'm sure there was an independent candidate somewhere up in, what is it, North Trelawney?
Yes. No, South Trelawney. South Trelawney.
South Trelawney.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he now?
Where is he now?
I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm asking.
He's back in his private business and promoting boxing and all kind of things.
Okay. All right.
Maybe the COVID thing catch the sport thing, but he's in his business.
I agree with you that that is part of the problem, but that is not the problem. The problem is systemic. The problem is systemic, and that
Porter, my
one of the
brethren.
causes of the problem. One of the causes of the problem is because we do not. The administration of ministries is left up to the politicians themselves, and they become the minister. If we could separate, if we could find the brightest financial mind to be the minister of finance, the brightest businessman to head commerce, and so on, along the line that America does, some of these problems wouldn't have because the
You
politicians.
sure America does it? You sure America does it?
I said along the line, because a member of Congress is not going to be in charge of the Department of Commerce.
But along the lines, I see a senator. Along the lines, I see a senator's wife being appointed for transportation secretary.
Say that again.
Along the same lines, America, I see a senator. Being senator's wife being appointed as the transportation secretary.
Yeah, man, I noted that, but I'm saying, and I understand that, and those things will happen. But I'm saying if we free up our members of parliament to concentrate solely on their constituency and make people who are qualified to lead health, to lead finance, to lead production, to lead commerce.
If who allow them, 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 if we who allow them, if we who free up their hands.
If we, all right, maybe allow is not the right term, but if we change the system in such a way.
No, I'm not focusing on the event that you want. I'm not focusing on the what you want to do. I'm focusing on the who you want to do it. You say if we, who are we?
I mean, if the people in the society decided that that was the change that they wanted, and they would have made their voices heard and forced politicians to change
Therein lies the corruption. Therein lies the corruption.
You're going back to the people.
Therein lies the corruption. It's a proper checkmate, you know, Hugh Porter. This is a proper checkmate.
But look here. The politicians are the ones that have to make the changes in parliament, you know, because remember in the good old days of the NDM, there was this big talk about term limits and that, you know, we don't want the cult of personality to develop in our politics and people should have term limits. Where did that go?
With all those, no man, them items there, Porter, them items there, them just, I don't want to call them not relevant at this stage. We have to start from the voters and how the voters think. I believe, you see, if there's an argument, the argument is about education of the public. I think that therein lies a good argument if we have one. That the corruption don't pay off. The taking $20,000 for a vote don't pay off. And then and a t-shirt, it don't pay off. And then we begin to elect good people who will thereby now appoint good people to be ministers and so on. That is where I'm taking it from. And I hope that you have walked with me down that road, but you're not walking. You're staying up at the top. You're an elitist, my friend.
Oh boy! Look at it. It's a complex problem. You can't have just a simple solution. I'm not ruling out that. But it is not that. It is not as simple as that. Yes, I agree that there should be education.
The black inventors, the black inventors of the United States would not agree with you about simple solution to complex problem.
Sometimes, not all the time, I call a solution to a problem. Even complex, even one that appears on the surface to be complex, have to be complex. It can be a very simple.
You're making my argument for me.
You never hear about the truck was stuck under the bridge and they took everybody from UE and all the electrical engineer and all of that and a little handicap man say. Just just deflate the tires,
Right.
them
So
and the truck will
sometimes,
come out and watch.
so sometimes the problem is as simple as choosing the right person to vote for. That's the point I'm making. So you just help me out right here.
Let us agree. Let us agree that yes, we can have public education, but I will say with the caveat that public education, and if people keep voting out people into a system that itself does not change, all we'll be doing is what we call swapping black dog for monkey.
No. I not swapping no black dog. I will swap dog. I am not racist in any way. I'm not dealing with no color dog.
That was not racist comment. That was not a racist comment.
I'm not
that
dealing.
was not a racist comment, Ed. No, Ed, no, you won't get me that way. No racist comment on my part.
Anyway, you Porter, I want to establish a relationship with you again, my friend, that allows you to call me every now and again for us to discuss issues like these. It will be a good thing. And as I tell you, you are the first and only guest that has called in and I've argued with. Only one.
All right, sir. I consider myself privileged. And I will call you again because I'm very, very passionate about small business.
I know.
What I call.
I know.
I'm going to introduce my theory of garrison economics, and then we can have a discussion around
it's perhaps a topic that we could agree on to, because I'm all into small business right now, micro business. As a matter of fact, I've gone down to nano businesses just to get this economy growing and just to get people on track. If you look at my Facebook page, you see where I'll raise fowl, grow banana, grow all kind of things, just to encourage people that we can start something, we can do some things.
I notice you grow chickens and never give me none.
Oh gosh, you Porter, you know, since 11 people get chicken out, one chicken dead out of the 12, and 11 people so far get chicken out of the batch. Oh gosh, man. And you're not even there.
You roast one for yourself. All right.
No, enough for myself. You wouldn't believe that have a share too. That had to share. But let me tell you something. It's fun being able to do all of that and being able to share the actual things, as well as to share the experience and say to my Jamaican people, no, I hate that term, my Jamaican people, and say to my fellow Jamaicans, we can do it, man. We can do a thing. It fascinates me to be able to do that. You know, thank you again for calling in, you. And God willing, we'll establish that relationship. Yes, man, you're good. You're welcome anytime.
Call again.
All right, you're welcome anytime.
Good.
Cool. Yeah. You're listening to Fit FM 96.7, Your Life, Your Music. You're into the Buzz Community Buzz. Yeah, your current affairs program. Right here. We take a slight break and we come right back. Guess what I'm doing? Hey, but catch my producer. No, she's already. So remember now, you Porter just spoke to me. So if you want us to talk, you Porter just spoke to me. If you want to make a comment on all of that, you can either WhatsApp your comment to 876-482-4944 or call 876-317-1999. All right. So we're there. Producer, ready for me? Yeah, man. We take a break.
The Spicy Hill Community Clinic is now in Duncan's. Join Dr. Donaldson and friends on Saturday, February 27th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Stephen James Infant School in Duncan's, Trelawney for Community Health Clinic. Get your doctor checkup, eye screening, pap smear, HIV and syphilis test, blood pressure check, blood sugar check, NHF card application. Donate blood at our blood drive and learn about blood pressure and blood sugar management. Registration fee is only $1,000. This community health clinic is brought to you with the kind support of Trelawney Cooperative Credit Union, Phoenix Health and Vision Care Center, Jamaica Cancer Society, Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, Carib Sales, Duncan's Bakery, Hillside Enterprise, AJAG Hardware, and the Gentle Touch of Care Training Institute. Fit FM 96.7 will be there to bring live updates throughout the day. All COVID-19 protocols will be observed. That's the Spicy Hill Community Clinic, coming to Duncan's at the Stephen James Infant School on Saturday, February 27th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. with live coverage from Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Do you operate a small business in Trelawney? Well, talk to us. Be a proud community partner of Fit FM 96.7. Let us help you reach your target audience for an unbelievably low cost. Contact our sales office today at 876-544-0791, 876-377-3442, or email us at fitfmsales@gmail.com. Fit FM 96.7, Trelawney's radio. Your life, your music.
Cultural Mix, an exciting radio show, identifying and showcasing cultural diversity across the world through music, interviews, and lively discussions. Join Bev Moonchild on Fit FM 96.7, Fridays 6 to 8 p.m. Cultural Mix, everything cultural. Tune in. Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music.
You've got to give. Yes, I'm standing 10 feet tall.
Hi there, I'm Julia Meikle Benaya. Join me weekday evenings at 6 p.m. for Gospel and Soul, a program that gives you the very best in gospel music from Jamaica and around the world. That's Gospel and Soul, weekday evenings at 6 p.m. on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Yeah, man, we're back into the work. We're back into the work here on Fit FM Community Buzz, your community affairs program on Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. Yeah. So we just talked to Uport a while ago, and the conversation we have seen is a friend of mine. Is a very good mind, a thinking man. I think in a while I may be able to label him philosopher. But yeah, he's a man I like to talk to. Now, the conversation may seem kind of global while we're operating a community program. But here's how it becomes relevant to the community now. We have to begin to look as communities within our community, whether you're in a St. Ann, South Trelawney, North Trelawney, St. James, wherever, we have to begin to look at ourselves and say the status quo cannot stand. And the fact of the matter is, it is our votes that put us into control. If even once every 4 years or 5 years, it is our votes that get us into control. And it's important, very important, that we find the right people to fit in the right place at all times. And now we have another 2 years or so to look at least our parish council people, and another 4 years to look at our parliamentary people. But we must begin to look within our communities for the right folks. It is important that we form citizens association to do this kind of job. It is important that we form neighborhood watches to do this kind of job. It is important. Now, if what you write, I think it went a different angle than I thought it would, about the nepotism where family and family coming in and, you're handing down like it's a monarchy kind of a situation, and, the titles are handed down from father to son, mother to daughter, and so on and so forth. I thought that is where he was coming from. But nonetheless, we have to begin to look at our youngsters coming up and begin to train and trust them more than anything else. We trust everybody else picking, we're not trustworthy. Yeah. So if we really want to change, we're going to have to look into ourselves as individual voters and deal with the thing. We can't make the politician, every single politician, come out of we, then rise out of the people. We don't get one politician that is stranger to us, and we put them there. right? And so we need to think in that line so that when we get our representatives, they are our representatives, not representing some special interest, some other interest, some elite interest, and all of that kind of a thing. People that we can talk to, people we can relate to, people who we don't have to wait 4 and 5 years to see. You know, and so you have some good politicians here who you are able to see, and sometimes even if you're not seeing them, you see the work being done. So this is not necessarily a complaint. What I'm saying is that based on the discussion between that I saw you was making out, it is important that we understand where we stand in terms of our vote. That one vote that we have every 4 or so years, very important, and we need to use it wisely. A t-shirt and $5,000 is not going to work for you. I guarantee you it's not going to work for you. All right, so moving right along. We were just to try to lend some more clarity to that $422 million as opposed to body bags and the tone deafness of the administration in terms of not looking at it in terms of how it could come off and deal with it so that people could understand that in spite of everything that is happening that we could spend on, this is the best value for money. Not only that, to back off the $422 million so quickly is highly suggestive. And one of the suggestions is that it could have done for less in the first place. It never have to come out at yeah. So so that is basically what I was saying about that. Are we having a situation to deal with here? No. All right. All right. Here we are. No, Jesus and peace. Bro God, Mr. Andrew Wallace, we in a problem again. We in a problem again. Now, after we go through needs as a country, the first round of needs, and we decide as a country that, we take the Privy Council ruling on this thing. And so the needs as proposed at the time was ruled unconstitutional. And we are working on, and people are afraid of the ID and the this and the that and that. And now we are finding we have data breach in our COVID thing. How we go convince the people them now? Say their information will be safe. Notwithstanding that the argument can be made out that we give information every day, but on the different platforms and the different what them call them. Soon come back to that word, but the cookies, the different cookies that we pick up on the international web and all that kind of thing. Notwithstanding that, so we're back to square one, government. We're back to square one. How you're going to convince us now that there won't be a data breach there? You tell us that all along. You tell us, you preach it in, you nail it in. Those who of us who support government or support the administration, government different from administration. Those of us who support the administration was so willing to trust that argument. Those of us who became convinced did it tentatively, and those of us who were never convinced are now saying, see it there, I tell you, how could we make this happen? What? Jesus and peace. Jamaica, wanna see where we're there? Wanna see where we're there? How we going to explain out this now? And everybody be comfortable with needs? Or you're going to force it? You're going to force it in a way just because you can. Warning. There was a time when the current administration never have such a big margin, never have such a big bully pulpit. Even though you have this one, even though the administration has this one, please don't get tone deaf. The government, or rather the administration, I'm going to start separate them now. The administration did a good job in listening. I think after the 2016, in listening, we had situations where the appointment of the Chief Justice, we'd play hard-head, but then after a while we listen and just make it go through. There are some other little things which show that the administration was listening. Please, may I encourage the administration to keep up the habit of active listening. Keep your ears on the ground. Keep your ears on the ground. This data compromise, I don't know how we're going to get back on track with this. I have no idea how we're going to get back on track. Yeah? Oh, last week we had the opening of Parliament, and you see everybody in them pretty frock and then pretty suit and all that kind of thing. And I think everybody dressed their best. If you're saying their best, you're not go. So I think everybody dressed their best. And if anybody wanted to be proud in terms of North Trelawney, they could be proud that Miss Hamilton was out there and up front, your new member of Parliament. I mean, our member of Parliaments generally make us proud anyway in terms of their what should I say, decorum, how they carry themselves. And she has not failed in that regard. So Parliament is now opening. We're looking forward to the budget. And a lot of us, we don't listen to budget. We don't know what go on. But this time, spend some attention as we go up to budget. We want to know where money is spent on what and the explanation for it. Things like the $422 million perhaps is a COVID budget, it's an emergency spending, so maybe it would not have come up in the budget like that. But let us keep our ears on the ground and hold our politicians accountable for what they're supposed to do and what they're doing. All right. On that, I see Miss Lisa Hannah in our constituency working. working. As you all know, we spoke to Miss Hamilton about 2 or so weeks ago, and we got word as to what was being done with the roads and things, and good work is being done there. But I mentioned Lisa Hannah for the smile because this is the first time I'm seeing publications on work being done in her constituency in terms of the various communities there. And I wonder what has changed. Everybody perhaps now is on a public relations kind of a trend, which is perhaps good. But it is good to see that communities are getting something out of their member of parliaments, and that when it's publicized, we can't complain to people that do nothing because we have the evidence, So I just took note of that for the smiles, especially putting it together with working. Canada. We're going down on the right-hand side of the clock now. Canada before we go to Canada, I mentioned earlier that I'm a safety professional by being. And I see this is a 1-year anniversary of the gas station explosion in Mandeville. I hope everybody is taking care at the gas station now. I hope the proprietors are doing what they need to be doing to keep people safe. And I hope the people who are buying gas are doing what they need to do to keep safe. Believe you me, even sometimes I get caught, I catch myself with my engine on the pump and I have to just immediately shut off and think. But there's some some little protocols that you need to do on the gas pump that helps to keep you safe. Just find them out, and when the pump attendant talk to you, because pump attendant, I don't know nobody, so nobody can talk to me in my big car. We don't listen. We don't listen. We diss them. We don't respect them. We don't rate them. Yeah? But the truth of the matter is, they might be making the difference between life and death. Not just your life, but for them life too. And chances are you're in your car with your seatbelt on. The pump attendant can run away and get away from fire long before you can pull seatbelt and come out. See? So listen to your pump attendant when they talk to you about shutting off the engines and no smoking, no naked light, your cell phone and all of that. You know, because you never see it happen yet. No means it can't happen. And there's a theory in probability that says the more a thing doesn't happen is the more likely it is to happen in the future. You know? So you have to take that into consideration. Now to Canada. Canada imposed one 2,000 Canadian dollar fee, quarantine fee. So once you're going into Canada, you're going to be quarantined for 2 weeks, right? And you have to pay for your own quarantine period, which is 2,000 Canadian dollars. Juxtapose that against our government, who promised for foot all tourist insurance for COVID. And I remember that? Tourist insurance for COVID for tourists. Like that. You see, sometimes the things are not the same. Maybe I'm comparing apples and oranges because we need the tourists, don't you? Canada don't necessarily need we. And perhaps even if they need we in terms of farm workers and stuff like that, the businesses in Canada may be paying for footing the bill for things like these. It just shows you the world on level. And sometimes how we think not really level either. Because any Canadian can left now, come to Jamaica once and have them little thing. Them not have to go through all of this. And they don't have to pay nothing either. Them have to pay nothing. And everybody in a tourism quarrel say we must drop the taxes on tourists, the landing fee and them all kind of thing. You know? So I don't know. Chaka said the world no level. That's how you go. $2,000 if me forgot Canada now. More than my plane ticket, you know. About twice or 3 times my plane ticket. Yeah. All right. I am trying to start a new trend, which at 19 minutes past 5, my producer normally start cut her throat or mine. I don't know. Oh, she changed the signal. She a wind down. You look good, you see? Shades. She a wind down. Yeah. All right. So I normally, and not normally, I'm trying to develop a trend now. We'll find some good news to close the program with. You know, and there's a community named Brands Hill in Clarendon. And from the reports of Mr. Charles Risden in that community, we're getting that that's a crime-free community. Them not have nothing going on in a long time. Them can't remember anything significant happening in their community. I bring it up for more than just the good news. I bring it up also because of Clarendon. Clarendon is not known right now for this kind of good news. And so for all the people in Brands Hill, Clarendon, let me say, which kind of know? You see, my thing here, my my phone popped down in terms of the internet, and so all my notes on it kind of just not available to me right now. But oh yes, man, Pumpkin Corner. Or Pumpkin Ridge, something like that. After you turn the corner, Pumpkin Ridge or Pumpkin Hill, then you get to Brands Hill. And so all the people in Brands Hill, Pumpkin Hill or Pumpkin Vale or Pumpkin, where they up there in Upper Clarendon, because it's not North Clarendon, I suspect near Kellyton and place there. So I want to just congratulate you on being able to hold your community together. And we pray that we not jinx it by got about it, you know, and that all of you keep safe. And that whatever you're doing there to keep your community safe, that it can start spread and infect the whole of North Clarendon and take time trickle its way down into Maypen and over to Milk River and go right over to them other places there. Yeah, so that's a bit of good news. I am looking forward to other communities making statements like these, that them community really crime-free and incident-free. Yeah. The other thing I want to beg you, we have 2 phones now. I don't know how we can do it, but send a text when something happening in your community to remind me to mention it on Community Buzz now. If something happening in your community, something not done, something done, any little thing, just send a WhatsApp text, on both numbers, right? So let me give you the numbers again, all right? One is 482-876, you start with 482-4944. So you can use that, text it to that number, or you can text it to 876-317-1991. All right? And you should be good. I thank you for staying with us this week. Again, it was such a pleasure. Thank you again, my friend Porter. I hope me turning a political analyst, social analyst and commentator from now on, party. And we certainly shall speak again. Bingy Smith, I still want to hear from you. I don't know if you listen to the program today, but you have some good ideas there that you sent to me, but I can't play them on air because I can't explain them. You're going to have to come and explain them yourself, and all of them need explanation. So on a bus, we don't want to bus you. It's just that we need you for bus yourself, right? We just give you the microphone. So we say, God bless you, listeners. God bless you, viewers. And thank you for staying with us here on Fit FM 96.7, Your Life, Your Music, the Community Buzz, Your Community Affairs program. And I'm Ed Wallace. We're out until next week, all with God's blessings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye. So here I am, the controversial Ed Wallace. I'm on Community Buzz,